Sport of wrestling. Bobby Douglas. When Bobby Douglas was growing up in the coal mining neighborhood of Blaine, Ohio, on the outskirts of Bridgeport, he was so skinny that he was almost afraid to ride the school bus. Enduring many hardships with little thought of ever rising above his environment, he became interested in sports, and in particular, wrestling. Enter George Kovalik, a diminutive coach who saw potential in the 112-pound Douglas, and the two went to work. Before they were done, Bobby had won 4 OVAC titles, a pair of Ohio high school state championships, numerous national titles, spots in the 1964 and 68 Olympic teams. He was captain in 1968, as well as several world championship squads, and that was as a competitor. As for his coaching career, upon graduation in 1967 from Oklahoma State, he remained at Stillwater as an assistant, followed by stops at Cornell and Iowa prior to being named the head coach at UC Santa Barbara. In 1975, it would be to the top job at Arizona State. And as the expression goes, the rest is history. In 18 years at Tempe, his teams won 75% of their matches with a 225, 77-6 record and conquered the NCAA Division I championship in 1988. The personable coach also earned his master's degree at ASU and was admitted to candidacy for a doctoral degree at the Arizona School. In 1993, after coaching the 1992 U.S. Freestyle Olympic team, he became the 5th head coach in the 79-year history of Iowa State's storied wrestling program, where he would remain until his retirement in 2006, with a lifetime record of 427 wins, 170 losses, and 9 ties. His coaching resume includes 4-time U.S. Freestyle World Team head coach, U.S. Olympic coach in 1992 and 2004, Win Magazine Coach of the Year in 2002, NWCA Coach of the Year in 2000, 3-time Conference Coach of the Year at Iowa State, 9-time Conference Coach of the Year at Arizona State, USA Wrestling's Man of the Year in 1992, USA Freestyle Wrestling Coach of the Year in 1992. He has been inducted into the NAIA Hall of Fame, the Arizona Wrestling Hall of Fame, Dan Brand's Hall of Fame, Ohio Wrestling Hall of Fame, and was named the Ohio Wrestler of the Decade of the 1960s. He has been recognized as the International Wrestling Institute News' Coach of the Year, received the Gallagher Award, and is a member of the OVAC Hall of Fame. He has also served or headed committees for the U.S. Olympics, NCAA Wrestling Rules, and USA Freestyle Wrestling. On this day, June 16, 2014, we present for induction in the Lou Holtz Upper Ohio Valley Hall of Fame a champion's champion, Bobby Douglas.
Bobby, I just want you to know one thing. I'm glad you didn't become a football coach.
First of all, let me thank Mr. Holtz and the Hall of Fame and people of the Valley and the Hopple family for thinking that I'm worthy of this honor. I had a wonderful career in the Valley, thanks to Coach Kovalik and Evelyn Kovalik, and they became my other family. And they're here tonight. Could I have the Kovalik stand up, and the people that are supporting Bobby Douglas? They're over here at this table. Please stand up. Thank you for coming, and thank you for being a part of the wrestling family. I know I'm supposed to start off with a joke, but I'm gonna get right to the point. Ohio is the epicenter of wrestling in America, and has been for many, many years. We have the greatest number of Division I wrestlers in the country, and perhaps the greatest bunch of 8 to 12-year-olds that I've ever seen. The future looks very, very bright for Ohio wrestlers, but the Olympics are on the line. I'm asking you to support our effort to keep wrestling alive in the Olympic Games. We need the people from Ohio to step up. Ohio has the richest wrestling tradition in America. 4, maybe 5 presidents were wrestlers. The first American to step foot in the wilderness was a wrestler, George Washington. He was followed by guys like Grant, McKinley, Taft, Harding. I think those are all schools' names too. But wrestling has been a big, big part of Ohio's history. It's produced so many great Americans. And wrestling has given guys like me, and who are not going to be as big as the quarterback over here, gives us a chance to reach our goals. It gives us a chance to be a very productive part of society. And wrestling will remain in the Olympics if we get the right people behind us. I'm asking you for your help to help save wrestling. I want to tell you about George Kovalik a little bit, because I think his spirit has taken me to where I am now. He was a person that was driven to help his students become the very best that they could become. And we as his students were driven to do the very best that we could do. We wanted to win because of Coach Kovalik. Most of us played 3 sports. We didn't play one. Most of us graduated from high school. Most of us graduated from college. And that's a result of wrestling. And therefore, wrestling deserves to have its right in the world athletic community. I'm asking you, the people of Ohio, to speak out on our behalf. Again, I would like to say thank you so much for this honor, Mr. Holtz. I've long admired this guy. I've watched him, and he always seemed to come up with the right play. And I could never figure that out. And then I found out that he went to Kent State, and that's the same place that Coach Kovalik went. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
I think it's great that we get to recognize you for what you've done, and I promise you, I'll do everything I can to make sure that Olympics honors the commitment to wrestling that they've had. And just both of you, how well you presented yourself. And you can succeed when no one believes in you. You have no chance to succeed if you do not believe in yourself. I can't begin to tell you how many times I had to get down on my knee and pray to God. And I'd have the courage when I walked into that staff meeting or that team meeting, and I had a vision, I had a plan where we're going to go and how we're going to get it done. Is it easy? No, it's not easy. Particularly when everybody's criticizing everybody's doubt, yet it's so easy to fold your tent. But 1 year later, we had the second greatest turnaround in the history of NCAA football, where we beat Ohio State in a bowl game on January 1 the following year, finished 12th in the country, and beat Ohio State again on January 1. The point I make, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to get knocked down. You have adversity. Things go against you. But I think if we make life complicated, it doesn't have to be. There's only 5 colors of the rainbow. But look what Michelangelo did with those 5 colors. There's only 7 musical notes. Think what Beethoven did with it. We complicate life. I've always tried to be simple. You probably remember a quarterback by the name of Steve Berline. Steve Berline played in the NFL for 17 years. He was a quarterback at Notre Dame when I went there. He was a 3-year starter, owned all the passing records at Notre Dame. This is how Steve remembers the conversation. I said, Steve, you own all the passing records, and that's wonderful. You're a 3-year starter, and that's great. Now, I like a running quarterback, but you aren't very fast, but I can live with that. He interrupted me and said, how slow do you think I am, Coach? I said, Steve, if you got in a race with a pregnant mother, the best you'd finish would be 3rd. But I said, that's not what bothers me, son. What bothers me, you threw 17 interceptions as a junior. I said, Steve, I make this promise to you, son, you will not throw 7 interceptions your senior year. He got all excited, said, that's great. Is it the way you run the routes or read the coverages? I said, no. When you get to 6, you ain't playing anymore. Don't complicate life. It ain't that complicated. Love. someone to believe in, but you have to have something to hope for. And to me, these are the things that I learned in this valley. From my parents, from the people, and we could start naming off the people about having hope and believing and persevering and understanding you're going to get knocked down, you're going to have adversity, and things always don't go well. You know, when I went to the University of Notre Dame, I told the team, I said, we aren't going to win because I'm here. Anymore, you're going to change a flat tire by changing the driver. Our very first game, we played the University of Michigan, number 2 in the country. Harbaugh was their quarterback. We gained 550 yards, they gained less than 300. We lose 24-23 when John Carney, one of the greatest place kickers in the history of the NFL, missed a little field goal in the last play of the game. You walked to the locker room and everybody's blaming everybody else. First thing they said was Coach Holtz made some bad calls. Then they said the official made some bad calls. Now that is true, the official did make calls. Next year we go up, we play Michigan State up there. We're behind by 3 points. With about 3 minutes to go, we have the ball on their 25-yard line. I called timeout, called the team over and said, we're going to throw a touchdown pass. I said, we're going to run right 324 SXP pass. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I understand that means absolutely nothing to you. What I did not realize at the time was it meant absolutely nothing to our quarterback either. We threw an interception, Todd Crum ran it back. The whole year went that way. And every time the locker room people were bitching and moaning, complaining, blaming somebody else. Our last game of the year, we played Southern Cal out there on national TV. They had a quarterback by the name of Rodney Peete. Had a great football team. We're behind 30-20. With 11 minutes to go in the game, the only chance we had to win, they have 4th and 5 at the 50. Was going to punt the ball, was for us to block the punt. We put on the punt rush, we did not block the punt. But we were successful in roughing the punter. Now, the young man who roughed the punter happened to be my wife's son, Skip. After the game, the media said, what'd you think when your son roughed the punter? I said, I now understand why certain species of animals devour their young, but Southern Cal got a first in town, went ahead 37-20 with 9 minutes to go. And when we huddled up to receive the kickoff for the first time since I've been there today, I met a group of people who were tired of losing. They made a commitment to one another. You get your man, I'll get mine, we'll run the kickoff back. Tim Brown ran it back, set up a touchdown in 9 minutes. That football team scored 18 points, won 38-37 from that time on. Won over 80% of the games, not because of coaching, because a group of people finally stopped blaming everybody else and started taking charge of their lives. And these are the things they live value. Why do we come back to the valley? Why do we try to get back to it? Because there's no way we can repay the people that helped us. And we try to pay forward on it. But I just hope that people in the valley will realize how special people are and how much everybody needs love and understanding and caring. When people need love and understanding the most, it's usually when they deserve it the least. My wife said, well, how can you talk about caring because of the bumper sticker? I got a bumper sticker on there because of guys like Bob Seabold on the golf course. It said, Jesus loves you. Everybody else thinks you're an asshole. Is respect. Respect for teachers, respect for parents, respect for elders, respect for the law. I used to be taught in the home, used to be reinforced in school, but sometimes that gets away. But I think if we have respect for ourselves, we'll end up showing respect for other people. I love this valley. I want to compliment Fall Lisby on the great progress they've made. That home looks a lot better than it did when I lived there some 70 years ago. And Mr. Douglas, you people did a tremendous job. Thank you for coming. I hope you'll come back next year and support this as well. I don't know who we will have as a speaker, but I do know this. I'm just proud of the valley, and I give it because my wife is from here also. And I wish you nothing but the very best, but ask yourself this question as you leave tonight. If you didn't show up at home, who would miss you and why? If you didn't go to work, who would miss you and why? See, ladies and gentlemen, the only people we ever miss in this world are those that add value to other people's lives. So I always look at it and say, am I adding value to my family, to my company, to my business, to my team? As I said, it doesn't have to be very complicated. I graduated from East Liverpool High School. The reason we ended up in East Liverpool was when my dad went in the Navy. In World War II, we moved to East Liverpool to live with my mother's parents. When my dad got out, he did not bother to relocate. But it's just a great area, and we really appreciate it. But when you look at it, how blessed we are. But ask yourself, if I didn't show up, who would miss me and why? You want to be happy for an hour? Eat a steak. You want to be happy for a day? Play golf. Unless you're playing with Mike and Bob, Jim. You want to be happy for a week? Go on a cruise. Now, to me, going on a cruise like being in jail, except you have a chance to drown. But if you want to, that's up to you. Want to be happy for a month? Buy a new car. Want to be happy for a year? Win the lottery. Want to be happy for a lifetime? Help other people feel good about themselves. You sure made us feel good by being here. The honorees, you honor us. We don't honor you. You honor us by being here. Thank you so much. Drive safely. I'm flying back tonight with my family. My son's a lawyer, and my other son-in-law is a chemical engineer. When Kevin got out of Notre Dame Law School, I said, what's...
Grant, this don't work.
Each other for breakfast. Yeah, Saturday, Friday morning. Let's go. Georgia's most successful wrestler and his least successful.
Yeah, I hope you
Last guy put you down. Yeah.
That's right.